Look at ENT. Question 20. Okay. ENT is about Bcg matrix. You still remember your Bcg matrix? Just put in the Bcg matrix note for you. Bcg matrix. And when you calculate Bcg, what are two things you have to calculate? Number one, you have to calculate the relative market share, not market share. Relative market share means you have to compare against market leader or then you got the other one is growth rate. You have to compare against what? There are how many outcomes? 4 outcomes. What is it? We got cow and dog. This too is about maximizing profits. Got it? Then you got star and question mark. This too is about maximizing growth. Are you okay in the 2 different things? So you need to know which one you're trying to maximize based on the question area itself. So you need to know which area is to be maximized. And there are limitations. Remember, there are limitations in using your Bcg matrix. What's the limitation? You know limitations of Bcg? The first limitation of Bcg would be? Anybody knows? Defining the market. Too simple. It kind of ignores interdependence. Are you okay? Right. The next thing you got is, let's look at a question right now. Are you okay, sir? This is the basic idea about BCG, sir. So BCG might, if it comes out, you better know how to handle it. So far the examiner has asked BCG 2 ways. He's asked out BCG in how to use it for performance management, how, and also which budget system is suitable for the division. Are you clear now? So based on these 2 things, you have to know whether it was used for, whether it can be used for managing performance. It means what to look at, what area to manage performance. Remember, if they say how to use it for performance management, it's about you talking about planning, control, decision making. Always remember that keywords. It's about you using something for planning, control, and decision making. Planning, control, DM, PCDM. Are you clear now? Anytime any question asks you, how do you use this for performance management? Remember, I can use BCG to plan where to put my money. Planning, okay now. Allocate my budget resource or my cash resource. In terms of control, if I use BCG, I control the growth in the star and the question mark. I'll control profitability on the cows. So what to control, right? Clear now? Okay. And then in terms of decision making, well, I can make decision whether to sell off a unit or keep a unit. Understand? So you always look at any tool, any management accounting tool, from the angle of planning, control, decision making. Does it make sense or not? So from that angle, you can then argue whether something is valid or not valid, whether it can be helpful or not helpful. The examiner is always looking at how does it help the company. Okay? Remember, I just heard that the World Prize winner said it's 40% knowledge, 60% application from case, Clear? For P5. With 60% you have to take everything from the case. The basic knowledge is just a little bit, it's not so much. Got the idea? Okay. So if you look at this question, ENT is a large diversified group. Okay? It's a large diversified group and entertainment business based in Thailand. And the company's objective is the maximization of shareholder wealth for its family owners. So one of the things it's got its family owners. That's one of the things you want to watch out. Now what are family owners interested in? Well, they are interested in long-term sustainability, for the generations to have. So they want survival. Now, if you want to have a long-term surviving business, you need to have a balanced portfolio. Make a note. I repeat again. If you want a long-term survival business, you need a balanced portfolio. If you want to have a short-term venture capitalist kind of approach, you need a lot of stars. I repeat again. You need a lot of stars. Like you see, Tesla is still not making profit yet. But it's got a higher sales. The sales has gone up, but profits have gone down still, or has reduced slightly. But it's still a loss-making entity because all their money is on R&D. It's a high-growth market, okay, not? So they have to spend a lot of money on R&D. That's why they are reporting losses. But the share price goes up. Why is the share price going up? Because they all know it's a star. Sooner or later, it'll become a cow. Make sense? So that's why they are betting on Tesla, saying that sooner or later, Tesla will become very successful. Right now, they are still in the loss-making scenario because most of the money is trying to improve R&D for the car, how to make the car go further, how to make the car go lighter, all that. Are you clear now? Okay. So, wealth of the family owners. So you do need to know each owner, each type of owner have different interests. If I said institutional investors, okay, let me just make a list here of all the different types of owners of companies that your examiner can use. So the examiner has used owners before as a means to trigger a response in you. He's used family, which are looking for long-term. Then he's used VCs. VCs are interested in what? Yeah. Short-term gains. If you're looking at II, who's II? Institutional investors. What about institutional investors? What are they interested in? Government owner, what are they interested in? Are you clear? The different owners might have different types of outcome? Yes, no? You need to be able to adjust it. So when you talk the questions, you need like, who's the owner? Oh, this guy is interested in this. So I need to talk about that angle of the answer. Are you clear now? Make sense? Adjust your answer according to the owners. The examiner just has to change owners to change the question. Understand not? Once you change owner, your KPI all switching, Clear? Okay. Does that make sense,
You can use the mental matrix.
No, it's not about mental matrix. There's no need to use mental matrix because the examiner won't ask you to do mental matrix. He'll just say, this company is owned by the government. This company is owned by the government. Then you just talk about the company and then say, can you talk about performance management? And then at this junction, you need to be aware, if it's a government owner, what are they interested in? They might be interested in profit. Everybody surely will be interested in profit. But at what cost? Clear? Okay. Can I move on? Next one. Recently, there are 4 divisions: restaurant, cafe, bars, and dance club. Now, before we go down, think about it. Restaurant and cafe, are they almost the same thing? No, this is very complex. This is almost the same thing. Almost. It's almost the same thing, isn't it? If it's almost the same thing, it's a bit tricky, correct? In terms of market definition, but we'll go on. Recently, ENT board have been identified as a problem with managing such a diversified company. The company employed a consultant who recommended they should perform a Bcg analysis to understand what they have, whether they have the right mix of business. Chief executive has questioned whether use of this analysis is helpful in managing group's performance. A business analysis has prepared the following items. Now, if you can look at this, usually you're given a lot, but you actually do like this. Does that make sense? So you look at this numbers and this numbers. This is used as a jump-off point for looking at growth. When you look at growth, you need a jump-off point. You need to jump away from one point to another point. Then you can see whether growing or not growing. Okay, now. So this is a jump-off point, but you focus on this one. And here you jump from here, so you focus on this one. So these are 2 points of reference that you're going to use for calculation. Are we clear or not clear? Got it? Okay. Now, the other thing, in Thailand, the economy is generally growing about 2% per annum. This is the GDP. Remember, I told you to compare with GDP. Got it? Okay. The restaurant, cafe, bar sectors are highly fragmented with many small operators. Consequently, a market share of more than 3% is considered to be large. A market share of 3% in this market is considered to be large. Okay? And they're saying that because it's one of the key words is highly fragmented market. Okay. Is considered large, comparable to the share of the largest operator in the sector. So that means you become market leader if you pass 3%. Got it? Okay. There are fewer small late night dance club. Market leader currently holds 15%. Okay, that's the market leader. So notice they're mentioning the market leader. All right. There have not been many new developments within the division except there will not be new development division except for the new wine bar format launched by the bar division. So you're looking at the new wine bar could be actually be a different business segment, actually not. Could be a different division by itself. Okay. So that might be something you have to look into. Okay. Each division performance is measured by EVA. So you're looking at economic value add. The divisional managers have been remunerated package is made up of 2 equal parts. So there is divisional management, they're being evaluated, and their remuneration package is made up of 2 equal parts salary set according to industry norms and bonus achieving cost budget. Now this is a bit of a disconnect. If you're using EVA as your measurement, then why are you using cost budget as your performance tool to motivate the managers? The 2 seems to be out of sync. Right? This one is not in sync with this one. The 2 are called out of sync ideas. Got it? Looks like they have to do some syncing, as we call it. Okay, now, make sure you know the concept of syncing it. Sync is making sure everything lines up. Okay. The chairman of the board, of examining consistency of overall objective division, measures the remuneration package at division level. He's expressed the worry that they are not properly aligned and they may lead to dysfunctional behavior by the divisional managers. Okay. Well, perform a Bcg and ENT and use this to evaluate the company's performance. Okay, that means they just want you to say how the company performed. Critically evaluate this Bcg analysis as a performance management at ENT. Critically evaluate what's wrong with it and then say what's the limitations and all that. So the examiner doesn't say state the limitations of Bcg. He puts it down as critically evaluate. Clear? So you do need to figure out the sentencing. You have to translate your examiner's requirement a bit. Got it? If he says critically evaluate, he's talking about the limitations of the model against the situation. Okay. Now, remember, critically evaluate Bcg analysis as a performance management system. It means, you got so many other systems. What are other performance management systems? What are other performance management systems? Too early in the morning. It's your pyramid, your balance scorecard. Those are all other systems. Are you clear now? Performance management systems. Fair enough? So you should have compared that. This guy is going to use BCG. Is that even valid for usage in terms of performance management, given that there are so many other issues? Are you clear? Huh? You just evaluate it. You're not supposed to suggest anything. But when you want to critically evaluate, normally you always have to have something to compare against. Like what else are other models doing? They're covering what other issues. Are you clear now? So you do need to be aware of that one. Okay. Right. Next one. The next one is going to be evaluate the divisional manager's remuneration package in light of the divisional performance system and your BCG analysis. So they want you to use your BCG to figure out whether the guys are getting paid correctly or not, and their remuneration correctly, and also in light of the divisional performance, and explain implication of BCG analysis and divisional system on management style. Now, notice the word management style. Do you know the word that you're supposed to use? If we say management style means, which one are we talking about? In P5, there's only one place you learn management style. What is it? Huh? Hopwood. Yeah, what is that? What's 3? Budget? Non-financial? Profit conscious. Okay. You do need to remember that. I cannot. So you see the word style? Better trigger the 3 things. Don't go autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire. Don't go and use all the P3 stuff. If you use the P3 stuff, you get into trouble straight away. Because in P5, you only use one kind of management style. You don't discuss the other management styles. Got it? Okay. So when you read the question, you need to be careful with this. Okay. Now have a quick calculations. Okay. What do you have to calculate? Let's calculate quickly for this one. So part A asks you to So what do you need? You need how many years right now? Well, you need to have, well, we'll put the division. We got 211 row, 211. This is not 211. What is this? Okay, can you quickly calculate this one? And I want you to label it. What's the outcome here? You need to say whether it's a dog, cat, cow. There's no cats here. Okay, the dog question mark, or you got your star. Just label it and see whether you can get it. Calculate first. So which growth are you supposed to calculate? Is it the market growth rate or the company's growth rate? It's the market growth rate. Okay, now calculate the market growth rate quickly. Are you done calculating everything? Done? Okay, you should have got 1% here, yes, no? 9% here? Did you get this one? Yes, no? Did you get all of these numbers? Check and see whether you're getting these numbers. Are you done? Okay. So, in terms of analysis, this is what you got here. Divisions, you got all the divisions there. Okay. And in terms of analysis here, what's going on? What about cafe? What are you going to say? Does that make sense so far? Then you got dance club, right? Okay, right. Part B. What is it? Critical evaluation of BCG, right? The wine bar is aggregated into which business? Does it make sense or not? So if you got data to churn out, you don't need to worry about the data churn out because of this one, yes or not? Think about it, it's based on hard facts, right? That's a good thing, lah. Are we okay? Last one, of course, is going to be useful as to allow contingent thinking. You know this contingent thinking, right? The way to think contingently. Okay, that covers the part of the, well, focus. Dog and, what do you say? Dog and cow. Focus is on what? Span and spark. Focus is on okay, are you okay there? Any questions there? Last one is part C, looking at the current approach, right? They ask you to evaluate what? The remuneration, right? Yes, no? Well, part C1 is remuneration, then part C2 is the style of performance management system. Okay, now let's look at part C1 now. Current remuneration is what? Basic pay based on market rate and bonus budget. Correct? That's the first thing. Get the basic idea out. Are you clear now? So is the basic pay okay? Clear? If you're a market leader, you better set the pace. If you can't set the pace, then you got a problem. So you need to know why the budget is okay. So the examiner doesn't need to criticize negatively every time. Be careful. Don't go in with a biased mindset of criticizing everything badly. It could be good also. Does that make sense? So if it's good, just say it's good. Why do you think it's good? If it's bad, then say why do you think it's bad. Got it? What else are you going to say here? Can you say anything else? Are you okay in this part? Okay, done. That's how you should have written the answer out. Does that make sense? Restaurant, dog, bar, cash cow, 3 question marks, what style? Clear? Not clear? Any questions there? Too cold? Okay, done. This is Bcg Matrix. It has been examined 2-3 times, but the examiner hasn't asked for a Bcg computation for some time. Okay? He hasn't asked for a Bcg computation for some time. So if we ask you a Bcg computation, it might be in question 1 this time. Don't panic. Comes like question 1, just do it. Do it modular. Okay, learn to do it modular. Don't try to do the whole thing one shot, because treat every question as a small question. If you treat everything as a big question, you got a problem. Got it? Are we okay with this one? Yes.